So Marvel Rivals has been a ton of fun, and like a lot of people are talking about how this can revolutionize hero shooters, and I've even seen people making videos about like how other heroes, like Ben 10, that was a pretty good video, someone's talking about Ben 10, I was like, I want to do that, that sounds so fun, I'm a game dev, I know how to do that, and I was thinking about like games, characters that'd be fun to map onto. I'm like, what do I know a lot about? Five Nights at Freddy's? No. Sonic! Yes. And Sonic is like so perfect because if you don't know, Sonic characters come in teams of 3 and they usually have a power type, a speed type, and a technique type, which is so easy to map onto the Marvel Rival stuff. Like technique and strategy are basically synonyms, and that's usually the hardest part. So like let's I've got a list here in Google Docs and I'm so ready to show you. So our first Vanguard / power type is gonna be Knuckles. You can't forget him. He will be like the basic brawly type. He might be more like Thor. He'll still have like protection abilities and he can glide like his in-game counterpart. And his ult, for the ults in this game, they're supers. They're gonna be called supers. And it's his super form, but it like the actual ability is just Thor. I want Knuckles to be Thor, but slightly different. Like maybe not like the hammer like mechanic thing. Actually, that could be interesting. Something to do with, we could just map Thor onto Knuckles. I think it would work. Next, I had Big. I didn't know if I wanted to add him, but like there were less Vanguards, so I thought I'd add him. He's on Team Rose and stuff. So he is slow and very shieldy. I think he'd be a very defensive character, while Knuckles will be a more offensive tank. I thought it'd be fun. He throws out his frogs as like mines, and his ultimate is Froggy turning into chaos, and he does like the Venom thing where he comes up from the ground, but it's chaos. I thought that would be cool. The next one I have is Vector the Crocodile, everyone's favorite boy. His basic attacks would just be like punches, but all of his abilities would probably have something to do with his voice or his music. He could probably have a shield, maybe something he could throw down to protect his team, kind of like Ramantra. His ult would be him just shooting like a big ray out of his mouth that stuns people, so that like kind of like a Doctor Strange ult, but in a straight line. He could also have an ability that somehow references him being a detective. I think that would be cool. He could briefly see trails behind people to track down flankers. So I added Zavik. I don't really know anything about Zavik, but he's in Team Sonic Racing, and I did need more Vanguards. So I don't know, he had something to do with like controlling metal or robots. Maybe he has little drones or something. I don't know. I also have Tangle. So she would be Mr. Fantastic, but just like if you leaned fully into his tanky traits. She would be a full-time tank, while I call Mr. Fantastic a part-time tank. Her fists would be like shields, because I think she's kind of like Miss Marvel, I believe, where she's mostly like stretching the arms, and her super is her grabbing people like Groot and holding them in place. Real quick, if you're enjoying this video, consider doing the cool algorithm things. I worked hard on this. It crashed like 30 times the file. So if you could at least tell me like what character you would want to add to Sonic Rivals, I'll add a Princess Elise. That sounds funny. Or like, you know, the Babylon Rogues or something. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Alright, back to it. Bye. For Dualists, first off, I have Sonic, obviously. It's your favorite boy. And so he will be a very fast flanker, like Iron Fist. He has a lot of basic boosts and spin dashes. A lot of his attacks are like little dashes, like Psylocke, you know. And his ult is going super and speeding everywhere, like Psylocke. I think it's just like beep, 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 beep. I think he has an ability similar in Smash. I think that's kind of how it would be. Amy, I think, would be a heavy hitter, kind of like Magic. She's got like a vague magic energy. She can probably channel about her. She can, I don't know, summon clouds of pink rose petals to obscure vision like Punisher. Maybe instead of like portals, maybe that's how she gets away. And she deserves to have a super form, goddammit. I needed Amy Rose super form. And she needs to crack open some heads. I think she would just maybe just become stronger like Magic. I'm kind of just taking Rivals character and putting the Sonic template over, but it works with a lot of them. So yeah, Amy is magic. Blaze, I think, would be one of our ranged characters. A lot of the Sonic characters are very melee heavy, I noticed, but Blaze would be a ranged character. She would have flame projectiles, she can glide downward, like a lot of them. So, like, all of her abilities are flame-based. Maybe she can, like, let out a little ring of fire to get people back down. And her super is Burning Blaze, and she has a, like, maximum pulse fireball. So, Rouge is a technique type in the games, but I didn't really see her as a healer. I think she would be a lot of them are flankers, but it's just kind of, like, the nature of Sonic. I feel like they're all small, fast critters. But she would be a stealthy type who can, like, walk and fly. Like, a lot of the flying types are stuck in the air in Rivals. I think she should be able to land and walk sometimes and fly, and that'll help with her stealth. Maybe her flying is, like, a short dash ability, but she'd be more like Reaper. I was thinking about putting her as Psylocke, but Psylocke I have saved for someone else. So she's Reaper from Overwatch, who is, like, almost kind of a go-behind and tank-busty character. In my notes, I say, fuck it, give her a gun. I mean, she does work with Shadow, and she is a secret agent. It would be funny to give her a gun. And her super is, like, she does this tornado kick that seems to be her signature move. So maybe it's she does, like, a big tornado, like, storm. I don't know. Shadow, he gets a gun, too. Obviously. I was thinking through, like, he gets a lot of different weapons throughout the series. But I think it would be best to have him with his gun. Like, he's got swords and stuff, but I need more ranged characters. He's very ranged, but he can dash. So, like, he can, like, move around pretty quickly. His super is just, like, him with his rings off, and obviously he goes gold. And he dashes, kind of like in Sonic 06, when he does that big dash. He does that. That's his thing. Maybe he does it a few times, like Cloak and Dagger. Metal, I know he would fight exactly like Sonic in canon, but that's boring. So I thought he would just be Winter Soldier, because he's got, like, a lot of the mechanical bits, a lot of, like, the viciousness of the character. So maybe a bit of range, maybe shoots something out of his hand or something. Yeah, his ult is Neo Metal Sonic, but yeah, I just have in notes, he's literally just Winter Soldier.
Editing Jex here. I'm an idiot. Obviously, he's got the ability to, like, have biodata and copy people. Obviously, his kit would be around copying people, kind of like Loki, or how a hypothetical task master would be. His ult, he can maybe, like, do a Loki thing, or maybe that's just one of his E's. He just takes someone's E every once in a while. I don't know. But yeah, he should be built around copying people. Duh. So I said earlier I had someone reserved for Psylocke. It's Espio. He's purple. He's a ninja. It's perfect. And I was thinking, like, since I gave Psylocke's ult to Sonic, he would have Hawkeye's ult, because he's a detective and he can detect where people have been. You see the logic, hopefully. And he would have just a similar kit. He can go invisible, too. So, like, it's just perfect. Give him a butterfly.
Okay. For strategists, obviously, I've got my man, Tails. I want him to be Rocket, but more complex, because that's one thing I don't like about Rocket, is he's so simple when the character is so cool and complex. So I would love to have, it has flight, obviously, and he can, like, stick things on people. Like, honestly, this is stolen from one of Rocket's scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where he sticks all the things on the people, and then the electricity, like, bounces between them. He could do that with healing, so it's kind of like Adam Warlock's, like, soul binding, but with little things that maybe the enemy could shoot off. And during his ult, he turns super, but it's just a Rocket ult. I think it makes the most sense for Tails. I feel like Rocket Raccoon and Tails would have a weird friendship, or almost like a Rocket takes Tails under his wing. That's very random, but they're similar characters in my eyes. Just Tails is a sweetheart. Silver, I think it'd be cool to have him as a strategist. I think he would be like Invisible Woman, but he can fly instead of going invisible. A lot of these characters can fly, but, you know. His ult is lifting the whole enemy team up and just dropping them hard like Sigma. Yeah, I think he should put up little shields. He should be able to like shove people away. Maybe he can even yank teammates in like Lifeweaver. So a lot of just moving people around.
So I think Eggman should be a strategist. I think he should be paired up with Metal and Zavik as like the strategist of that team. And I think he should be like a heavily damaging but also very healing character. And he can have snide lines about healing Sonic, like, "Oh, I have to help you again, Hedgehog." I think that'd be fun. And I think his ult should be a Death Egg laser that heals, so it's Juno's ult. I think he should have Juno's ult. I definitely think Charmy should be a strategist. I think he should be an easier strategist, and he can fly a little. Maybe he hovers. So he has some slight upward mobility, but not as much as, like, say, Storm. And maybe he has just a quick dash to take him really far. And he just throws out, like, healing and hurting stingers. Maybe he has an E where he throws out, like, a barrage of stingers. Honestly, Charmy is kind of like a forgotten character, so I don't know a lot about him. So I don't even know what his super would be. So if you know, let me know. Whisper, I wanted to add Whisper. She's like Ana, where she can in Overwatch, where she's a sniper that can heal and damage. She uses Wispins as her abilities and can damage boost herself or teammates. I want her to do, because Ana doesn't really do a lot of damage. I want her to do... Whisper is the guardian angel of the arena. I think she should be able to do some decent damage. Not like just make her DPS, but still pretty good. Her ult is she throws a bunch of Wispins down and makes everyone in that area unkillable. So that it's like a ranged Luna Snow ult. So it can't move. That's like the big thing, is like it'll be stuck in place. But everyone in that area is unkillable. Cream, I think she should be... she's, like, kind of out of nowhere. She isn't really part of there, but I needed more strategists. And I think Cream would be a cute little healer. I guess I can add her to Team Rose. And she uses Chow to heal. And she's, like, she should be a really simple and easy character. But she plays like Jeff. But she can fly for short durations. And her ult is she sends Gemerald down, and he like protects teammates, but he also just whoops some ass. I think that'd be funny. Gemerald, do something! I'm sorry, I had to. With that ridiculous ending, I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun making this. Again, let me know anyone you want to add and do the cool algorithm things if you are so inclined. Otherwise, have a lovely, lovely day.